Uh, Good morning. I am delighted to be here outside Butterfield Market, a great independently owned business on the Upper East Side and one that is beloved of neighborhood residents, with one of the very best people in New York government. I first got to know Liz Krueger before either of us were in city government when I was running the Fifth Avenue Committee working on affordable housing, and she was at the Community Food Resource Center fighting for the food that New Yorkers need and doing an incredible job with a real legend, Kathy Goldman, to fight poverty in New York. And what I have watched her become as she ran for state senate, helped take out real Republicans and then in fake Democrats who were holding up Republicans, and then become the best New York State Senate finance chair in the history of the New York State Senate. Liz Krueger exemplifies what people want in New York government. She is no nonsense. She is honest. She has New York values. She stands up to bullies and she gets things done. And I have just seen this time and time and time again. She does it for tenants, helped leading the fight that led to strengthening the rent stabilization laws in 2019, building that coalition. She does it on abortion and reproductive rights, leading the effort to make New York the place that the best in the country protects reproductive health care, stands up for women's rights, for civil rights, for abortion access, for contraception care. And she does it on climate, just passing this amazing climate superfund law, boldest in the country. In every one of those cases, it's bold legislation that defends New York values, and it's smart, practical, effective work that builds coalitions, wins majorities, and delivers for New York's working families. There really is no one in New York government whose endorsement I could be prouder to have. And I'll just conclude with, especially at this moment, it's always important to have somebody who's got those great core New York values and who actually delivers, makes government work for New York's working families. But right now, with Donald Trump in the White House, with the corruption that Eric Adams has brought to City Hall, and with the corruption that Andrew Cuomo would continue bringing to City Hall, it is never more important to have someone who stands up and fights bullies, who's relentlessly honest and a straight shooter, who has those deep New York values, and who knows how to make government work to deliver them. And so I just could not be more delighted than to have the support of New York State Senator Liz Krueger.
I feel like I should be running for something
Here,
with
here.
that speech. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So I am Liz Krueger. I've been the state senator in the East Side and Midtown and now Roosevelt Island for 23 years. So I've lived through a lot of mayors and a lot of governors. And I'm very, very proud to stand here and give my full support, number one, for Brad Lander to be the next mayor. I know how hard a job being the executive of the city of New York is. It's a job where you need to understand all the parts of government, where you need to actually come up with solutions to problems that you might not have even realized were existing 3 days before. You need to be able to find great people to work for you in your city agencies because it's a big city and one person can't do it. So it's also about the quality of the person to find great people who will work for him and do the right things for 8.5 million people. And look at Brad's history and experience. As he said, we've known each other a long time. So I've been watching him as he's moved up into all these more and more responsible jobs. And he has done a phenomenal job in every position he's had, which is why I am totally confident that he can jump, well, maybe not jump into City Hall, walk into City Hall,
Charge.
charge into City Hall, thank you, with or without a forklift, and and take on the responsibilities that he will be called upon to do. And it's not that I'm going to say bad things about other candidates, although I do urge people not to vote for Andrew Cuomo, because I've also worked with him as governor and he was not a very good governor. He does great press conferences, but his state agencies didn't function at all. And he doesn't really have a lot of interest in making government work. And that's not a job description for someone for mayor of New York City. The mayor of New York City, sure, he needs to do press conferences, he or she, but it's all about getting your government agencies to work. So, what do we know right now as New Yorkers? People are mad as hell because Eric Adams has had no interest in getting government to work. He's the corruption, the scandals have been mind-boggling, and there are not functioning city agencies. And you often are looking for someone who runs an agency and discover, oh no, they disappeared. I'm in Albany a lot. I'm like, where's so and so? Oh, another scandal, they're gone. Oh, another scandal, they're gone. And there's nobody replacing them. So we have city agencies that don't deliver. So my constituents call and say, why can't I get this done? And I go and try to find out because there's nobody running those agencies and there's nobody accountable, and you're certainly not going to find anyone accountable at this city hall. So I am a New Yorker. I need a city government that works. I need responsible stewardship by principled, intelligent people who understand the job and are going to focus on it. And we don't have that now. And I'm confident that we can have that if we all get out there and vote for Brad Lander on primary day. Though I will say, and I think people know this, there's so much panic by the public about what's happening in Washington, D.C., that there are amazingly few people focused on this mayoral campaign, even though we're weeks away from the primary. And I think that's an abnormal situation for us as New Yorkers because you wake up every day and go, what's going on in Washington? What have they done? Why are they doing that? But it's not legal. And so I think we've hit sort of a sense of people can't deal with their local government. But I'm telling all of you who will listen how critical it is, particularly at a time where we can't count on the federal government to put more of our commitment into both city government and state government. Because there are things we can do to fight back on what's happening in Washington. And more importantly, there are things that we can do when we are creative and focused to take care of problems, even as the Washington situation is not yet resolved. So I am very happy to be here. I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm happy to let Brad talk more.
Thank you very much, Liz.
Thank you.
Thrilled and honored for your support.
Go ahead.
I mean, the Senator kind of touched on it. Sort of, this is an abnormal primary. There's so much national news going on. What has the final stretch here before the primary look like for you and campaigning, endorsements like this? What is the strategy as we move forward here?
Yeah, so now we have 5.5 weeks to pound the pavement, to be out in every neighborhood in the city. We're here today on the east side, and I'm thrilled to have this endorsement. This weekend I'll be in Southeast Queens. We'll be in, at the Queens Night Market. We'll be, yesterday morning I was at the Morningside Park Dog Run. I'm talking to voters every single place. Liz mentioned made an oblique reference to the ad I've got up on air, and I like learning that she has been calling herself for years the only New York elected official who could drive a forklift, because when she was at the Community Food Resource Center, they had to move the food around.
The New York City Food Bank.
The food bank before CFRC.
Right.
So, but my point here is just like our ads just went up on air a week ago. I'm one of only 2 candidates in the race to have the maximum resources to spend directly from my campaign, not through a billionaire funded or real estate funded or corporate funded super PAC, and through both the, getting the message out through the airwaves and pounding the pavement on the ground. That's how we get New Yorkers to focus. It is true people have not yet, but 6 weeks, 5 weeks is enough time for people to say, what kind of mayor do I want for this city? I'm sick of the corruption and dishonesty. I want an honest mayor. I want integrity at City Hall. I want someone focused on affordability and safety and quality of life. And I want someone who knows how to hire great people and make city agencies work. And I have a lot of confidence in New Yorkers that as the weeks go by, the next 5 weeks go by, they will focus and choose the best mayor for the job.
A lot of people, hi, I'm Nora, I'm a recent
Hello,
editor
Nora.
on the Belmont newspaper. A lot of people in the neighborhood have been upset by the redesign of Third Avenue, removing 2 traffic lanes and now slowing down the signals on the avenue. How will you address their concerns?
Well, one is I work very closely with the local elected officials who know the conditions on the ground better than I do. And we've had a lot of conversations about the set of issues around street safety, saving people's lives from traffic crashes, dealing with moped and e-bike chaos. I actually put out a plan earlier in the race on street safety in the era of mopeds and e-bikes, and I learned a lot from and had a lot of conversations with Senator Krueger about it. So I don't know the details of the Third Avenue redesign. My priorities here are safety first. How do we reduce crashes and save people's lives? And how do we make the city thriving and livable? You can do that in good conversation with local electeds with those principles.
And I'll just say, yes, every time we do something different with street design in Manhattan, whether it's bus lanes or bike lanes or adjusting lighting, somebody's not happy. And what you have to do both is have the discussions before and evaluate after. And if it's not working in the best interest of the majority of people, you need to readjust. So changing lighting. Upper East Side gang.
That's very good.
Sorry. So when you're adjusting lighting and making changes to lane patterns, what you'll find is what might make some people unhappy actually might be doing an amazing help to pedestrians. I know one of the issues you talk about safety. I have a lot of older constituents. I'm older myself. Guess what? We don't walk as fast. And so when we try to cross an avenue that's maybe double width, if the lights aren't slow enough to allow us to use the pedestrian walkway, you can actually find. Hi, how you doing?
The best.
Thank you so much,
I love
Brad
you.
Lander. Thank
I
you.
love you. Ed, the best.
Thank
She
you.
needs to be a new mayor.
No, he's going to be our new mayor, Brad Lander. Thank you. I'm sorry. So sorry.
That was great.
So you'll find that some people might complain about something, while you'll talk to some seniors who will say, "Thank goodness we have longer to cross the pedestrian walks." We always continually have the bus versus car versus bike, conflicts because it's not a perfectly designed city. I joke, maybe Brad will not support this. If we all just left Manhattan for 20 years, we could redo it all the right way for us, and then we could all come back and be happy. But probably we're not doing that. I don't think he would endorse that either.
Some people propose like a second deck also. I don't think that's a great
Yeah,
idea.
the decking
But
Manhattan.
but I will say one thing I really admire about Liz and try to bring to the job as well is, I think there are some kind of my way or the highway people. They got a vision, they're going to go do it. And there are some, finger in the wind people, like what do most people, what's going to cause me the least problems. And Liz is someone who's got a set of principles, wants the city to take, the state to take real action, and also is going to engage and listen to people. And there'll be a lot of agreement when there's disagreement. She's not afraid of it. You have the dialogue. You try to look honestly at the facts and move forward. And I really think that's just the style of governance that we need, and we don't have nearly enough of.
All right.
Chrissy, you have a question?
Okay.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.